Oh, I had a big strong back to bring it. Do you need a minute? Do you need a minute? I want to be. Sometime when you do, that's the problem. I still have to get up. Oh, man. Got Richard in here now. He's on. I know. I'm just messing with you. Richard. Everybody's already left this morning? Everybody's already here. Got to work at 4 o'clock. I got you. If I was here, right? Yeah. Oh, do it. Hey, Richard. Richard, you got to sit down. We're going to get things started. You done said hello to everybody. It's politics. Yeah, but 6 ain't gonna give you no money. You made the budget. Yeah, usually 630. Have you asked her? Oh, yeah, I think I did with it. Which I did, I got 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and call the Parks and Rec meeting to order. Looks like we do have enough for a quorum. You want to review the minutes from the April 15th meeting down the back of the agenda. And then we'll see any additions or corrections need to be made. No, I need to entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I don't think the microphone's on. The dead? Okay, okay.
I got a motion by Mr. Johnson to approve the minutes, a second by Gunny. All in favor? Say aye. Aye.
Can you hand me that? Just, if you could turn it on.
Motion carries. Next thing on our agenda is an update from the Public Works Director, Mr. Salih. More or less this meeting is the swimming pool update by getting it open. So Mr. Salih, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, the swimming pool's been cleaned up, the best we can get it 2 years set, real hard. Got some real dark stains, I talked to some of the pool people at Lebanon Chemicals, and we're trying a couple of their things, but just not having a lot of luck with it. It should be up and running with the stains sometime next week, past chemicals and everything. It's we're washing the deck now. Of course, we refurbished the diving board. We're gonna have to put it back in and just basically just clean it up and bring in the food and get everything turned on and running. Miss Pittman was supposed to be here, but she's had a death in the family, so she's been at a funeral today. She's probably called 12 or 14 of the lifeguards that had applications turned in, and out of those 9 said that they would be able to go do the training. So we've got some now that are backing out, ongoing and doing the training. we need 12, 13 minimum. All of them go on summer vacations, all of them go, you know, they have their family trip. Most of them have cheer camp, a lot of them have band camp. And they're gone weeks, sometimes 3 weeks at a time.
Is that including your, managers and assistant managers? So you do have those as well?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have the assistant manager and the manager in place.
Will they be willing to join as lifeguards as well?
We can have them see, you know, if they want to do that. Basically, on the lifeguard versus assistant manager.
I couldn't even touch lifeguard that you said.
Basically, it's different on the lifeguard versus assistant manager.
So you do have a manager and assistant manager, you got enough for that.
Yes, sir.
You got 9, you think you got 9 for sure?
We got 9 that say they're willing to go to classes. The only place we can find is an all-week class now. Very strict instructor. He wants them there on time, and they have to be able to swim. If they can't swim to his expectations, he'll send them home. If they can't do any of the classes that he expects them to do, he'll send them home. He's probably one of the strictest instructors in Middle Tennessee.
Where will the instruction be here?
Gallup, from what I understand, it's going to be Gallup.
At the city, Gallatin City?
Yes, sir. And I know next year, Mark Carmen is going to be taking the training this year and next year to be able to train lifeguards here in Hartsville. So hopefully we'll be able to do that next year here in town, in-house.
So that's 5 days, you're saying, of training, all day training?
Yes, sir. Wait, I don't know how long it's going to take during the day, but it's spread out over the 5 days.
That's,
Weekdays.
okay, are we gonna pay them at their rate then during that training?
I'm sure that, I mean, being down that long, we should just take a few hours on the weekend. It never has taken this long.
But have we discussed paying them their lifeguard rate for those hours?
If being that long, I'm sure we'd have to pay them for being there, you know?
Yeah.
Is all the training now have to be like that? I mean, it's like they do on this one, or not?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
She got to find nobody else to do
There is
it.
nobody else. And she has been on bended knee begging these people to take our guards. And I mean, they refused her for 2 weeks, and they finally said they would set up a class.
Why are they doing that? Is it because we're too late in the game, or just like,
Well, we're too late, everybody booked up, and I mean, there's people in Jimmy Ford, they're still looking for lifeguards. You drive by any civic center, it says lifeguards wanted, there's signs in front of them. So, we're not the only one.
So, I guess the question is, are we putting in there that we're paying them their hourly rate for that 5-day training?
I think it is.
I do as well. Do we put that in motions? Do we need that in motions, what I'm asking?
I mean, no, they'll be on an hour, they'll have to do a time sheet and pay them for it.
That's what I was wanting to do.
No, that'll be fine, I mean, we don't have a problem with that.
So can we open the pool on the opening day we discussed, the 9 lifeguards and the managers and assistant managers you got now?
We're gonna try, yes, sir, we're gonna try.
So we're,
Did we get any answer on where we could give them the bonus or not?
Looking at the regulations from the Department of Labor, you can give them a bonus, however, since you're saying it is the way you structure the bonus, it'd be better to give it to them in their last pay period, because if you don't, it changes their rate, their regular rate of pay, so it's, if they work overtime, you have to give them an adjusted rate at this regular rate of pay. Whereas if you do it in the last one, if they work overtime, you adjust it just for that last pay period. And since it's what is called non-discretionary, since the way you structured that bonus and the wording you put in there, it does not give the department head any discretion of whether or not to pay it. You make it mandatory if they meet certain requirements. Since it is a mandatory, non-discretionary one, the best way to structure it, as I said, is to give it to them in that last pay period. That way, any change in the regular rate of pay only applies to that last pay period.
That would be fine.
Which, I mean, against the requirements that you set out, that they had to complete the entire season, so if they did in the last pay period, that means what you're saying, and then it also lets us do if they, and the regular rate of pay applies for overtime, and so the regular rate of pay, if you're gonna give them this $100 bonus, in that last pay period, that figures into their hourly rate, so if they work overtime, it's at an adjusted with that $100 added into it.
So it would be okay now to go ahead and say, you get $100 if you complete the whole season, and that might bring some in.
As long as you make sure they understand
It's at
that
the
they
end of
have
the
to get
season.
all their certifications, they have to complete the entire season, and they will get it in their last paycheck, which means they will have already worked their hours, and then they'll go in part of their paycheck. As long as they understand that's what it is, then I think we should be able to do the bonus.
This is something I've thought of since the last meeting. It's if we are going to place an incentive in place for these people, which is a great idea, can we also add something to that, saying that if you complete the season and you gain your bonus, that will give you the opportunity to come back next year at a better rate of pay since you're already trained and you've already, make advocacy to try and get repeat customers rather than these guys.
All they have to do is certain training where they come back or not.
I'm saying if they do this year and complete. And
Well, you're doing it as a bonus, not an actual salary line item. You're giving it to them as a bonus. So it's a one-time thing.
I understand. I was just saying if they came back the 2022 year, by having this year as a merit, have done this, then they can come in at some sort of preferential pay rate as a senior or tenured lifeguard. If we have that way, they're not coming back to the same rate of pay because that might retain some that's already trained from one year to the next, especially the younger ones. If we offer pay bump, to let them know they're going to get paid up the following year. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Trying to incentive, I just want to hang on to what we get once we pay the training on what we see.
Is it still 2-year training? 2 years certification?
From what I understand, this is gonna be a 1-year training.
So it's not a 2-year certification anymore? 2 years ago, it was 2 years.
Very seldom anymore do we get 2-year certification. The last 2 years, we've only got 1-year certification.
They have to get trained every year.
So that would not lose out, because they have to fund it.
Yeah.
Never mind that.
That's why I'm saying.
I still think it ain't the money's the
No.
issue, I think it's people stating, it's hard to get
It's
people.
lazy.
It's better than the money that you make in all the areas right now. It's $8.50 an hour, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, the money could be an issue if you have kids that can go to McDonald's and make this, or Taylor's and make this, or be a lifeguard and make this. They're gonna work, it could make a determination where they work. But it's not gonna make a determination if they don't want to.
Several of these kids already have a job. This will be their second job.
So we've already set the hours. We've already set we need to work on that right now.
We want to set the date, the same,
21st.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, on the date, the same pace, same as we've been doing on.
Everything food wise is about the same. I mean, there's nothing really out of whack with the food that we've always purchased. The rates are a little higher, but we raise the rates on that market, we can do it
What about our Wednesday nights? Are we still doing, was it Wednesday night or Thursday night? What was the night, a late night?
Tuesday night,
Tuesday night, my bad.
that was open to the public for,
That went over very well, right?
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, if we leave it like last year, that was part of it, Tuesday night was from 6 to 9, or was it?
It went late,
I
I
go
go
from
with that.
5 to we stay from 5 on. I mean, we're getting close for that hour.
Just stayed open.
Would it be better to do another night that way?
Oh, so many parties. I mean, we got people calling booking parties right now.
Yeah, I'm seeing on some social media where people are already asking about,
Yeah.
they call about for food parties.
And between the rain days and, those are people around for those pool parties, you really could do it. I mean, we do just as well on the pool parties. So,
That's probably better.
yeah, it's better.
So we could make a motion to opening day and leave like last year, or?
Did we have that motion already, is what I was asking?
I think we did. I think we have had it.
I think I made that motion. I think so. So we're ready to
Our
go.
biggest
We just didn't put a
concern is
closing
getting-
date.
Making sure.
We still haven't opened on the closing date, we haven't put a closing date. We got an opening date. Yeah.
Basis of if you were to get in a situation that you needed to.
Yeah, I mean, there's days we don't have lifeguards to open the pool, we won't be able to open the pool. If we've got guards and others work, and, you know, we're gonna run just as hard as we can this year. I have every intention to open the pool this year.
Is there any more discussion on the pool? I think we're ready to go on the way it sounds like. Maybe if y'all want anybody else, they need another lifeguard or two, it will help. I mean,
So did we make the motion for the $100? I don't think we ever made that motion.
It's in the new. That's,
It's
But
been the
it was pending this
fine.
fine, so did we ever vote on it?
well, that was in the motion. If it was okay, it would take effect. Isn't that right, David? One of the motions,
Yeah, three.
I think that's where the minutes supposed to
It's
be.
a motion by that board secretary to have to sign.
Is there anything in here about $100?
Proposed employees upon completion of training, completion of working pool services, and beginning with.
This is only if we had, if it was contingency or whatever, the mayor found out about the.
Physically,
legalities. We never,
It doesn't have a dollar
I
figure,
don't
is
think
what I
it
said.
ever went out to anyone.
It doesn't have a dollar figure.
You
I agree with you.
You would put that in form of a motion.
That's what I was asking, we want to put that form of motion, do we need that in the form of motion, or we just need to work off that motion to add $100, that would be $100? I think the way the motion is already worded sounds great.
I don't think you need to know, you passed it, but it's contingent upon making sure it passed, it was met the labor laws. Which it does, I mean, if you want to vote on it again, you can, but my reading of it is, just like we did something at the planning commission, we approved it, but we made it contingent upon them getting a certificate from the Department of Environment and Conservation. I think you did the same thing, you passed it, but you made it contingent, making sure it met all labor laws, which, if you structure it the way I said, I think it will meet the labor laws.
The motion doesn't have a dollar figure in there. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, you might, I wouldn't argue you should have amended the minutes.
That's what I was getting at,
Specific
should have amended the
dollar
minutes.
amount, when you said $100.
I didn't know if we had it
Well,
finished, so I didn't amend it.
since you didn't amend the minutes, and now they're the official minutes, given that, you probably want to do another one, give a specific dollar amount. And I would ask if you make it specific in your motion that it is to be paid in their last paycheck.
The way it's written now, is that okay? Upon completion of working, and paid in the last paycheck. You want to make it, since you made it?
Yeah, training completion of working the full season. I think that, if, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there was also mentioned at the last one that they get all their certifications and complete the session. the
It
season.
says up on completion of training and completion.
Yeah,
of work
training and
in the
completion,
full
just do that
season.
and add that the bonus will be paid in the last paycheck. In the last paycheck.
You want to make this
Okay,
one
I'm
first?
gonna make a motion to have the sign-on bonus for the pool employees upon completion of their training and completion of work in the pool season to be given at the end of the season through their last paycheck of the sum of $100. This is within contingencies that it does violate all the labor law and the legalities.
I'll say.
I got a
Yes, that
motion,
should cover it.
I've got a motion and a second, any discussion on it? All in favor, let's say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Anything else we need to discuss on the swimming pool?
Also, about the lights.
We'll move on to number 4, any other discussion items? Maybe Johnson Control did come up and give us update on the
They
lights.
sent me, kind of preliminary numbers on lighting earlier today. Now, the numbers they sent me is lighting at the entire park. It didn't cut out the ball fields at the entire park. But I will say the way they structured it, the ball fields are gonna be the biggest part of it. And the number they've given is $909,775.
909 what?
$909,775. Now, I think a lot part of that is the ball field separate from the basketball courts, tennis courts, and skate park. I'm not sure, they didn't separate out those numbers, and they don't have an individual price for the poles, because they're saying 70-foot steel poles, concrete base, LED lights, and I believe there's 14 of those they're gonna do. Now, those are around the ball fields, but they didn't say what the price for each of those are for the lights, so I don't know how much that is of that $909,000. I did ask them, they asked me to look over this and then give them feedback, which I'm going to, and I did before, ask them if they could separate that out, give me a specific dollar amount for the ball field lights. So that as they do their final numbers, this is kind of preliminary, as they do their finals, they're going to give you that information. Plus, there's some other information they're going to give you that I asked for. But again, this is just a preliminary number.
How does that rank stack with the numbers that we were looking at before?
We never got any. I think Cliff contacted several ones, and I don't think they ever actually gave him a dollar amount. If he can remember, Cliff, am I right on that? But none of the ones you contacted before ever actually gave you a package number.
Not yet, but now I've been in talks the last 2 weeks with Brooke at Musco, and she's working on some numbers right now. But it's all just preliminary, but she can get satellite views and my count, what's actually in the field over there. Still got a long way to go. I mean, they're sitting in the year here looking at, I'm expecting sales any day. I'd say the next week. They've got a sales here in Tennessee that's supposed to see it's a guy, I don't remember his name, she knows his name. She's an eye, I've been doing her over the phone with pictures and then, like I said, satellite photos.
So, did you ever receive the one from John Adams? It's crazy.
That's what I was told.
I sent it to you.
Shit, you know, lighting up tight,
I don't know,
I sent it to you in email.
Last time I was down there, he wasn't in there.
No, I sent it to you in email. Look, I got it. I sent it to you back.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I asked Musco, if we're dealing with the same number
Are we dealing with the same people?
from them or not, but she's saying the same number.
Not the same value you're saying.
And there was one thing I specifically asked Johnson
Board
to do is make sure that this meets the requirements of the Little League. And also, I went back and reread it earlier today, and I don't know if you want to call it a preamble or not, but it says any change in lighting needs to be approved by the district administrator and the president of the league.
I'm sorry.
It does have to be approved by the district, the league, whatever. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
so
that's
like,
I downloaded it earlier today, and it's right there in the preamble, and it has it bolded out saying any change in lighting after a certain date has to be approved by the district administrator and the president of the league. And they want you to submit your lighting plan to them before it's approved.
I think that's mainly though for, I mean, they do have to do that, but I think the reason behind that, correct me if I'm wrong, is because of if you would host tournaments.
And that's what they specifically told me they wanted to be able to do, is host state tournaments. That's why we're looking at the steel poles. You know, we could just went back with wood poles, but they said they want to be able to host state tournaments.
We've only got one field over there, to my knowledge, that's Little League, regulation team.
I was just about to say, there's not a lot of regulation. Yeah, there's not a lot of regulation.
The center field.
That's what we're
I
going to
think
do,
the
go
softball
back and
field
put the steel poles on that one, and that'll drastically reduce this, because they've got 14 70-foot steel poles.
We'll have to measure, if I'm not mistaken, we might have had enough room to move the fence out around the track and get it, but I just can't remember it's been way too long. That's something we talked about.
On which field?
14 poles and 14 lights, right?
Well, it's 14 poles, but it's numerous lights on each pole.
Understand that, they light the unit, and that's $900,000, that's,
Well, that's 14 poles for the ball field. It also includes tennis court, basketball court, and skate park,
okay. Right, so
and all the lighting for that as well.
$50,000 a light, $30,000 a light, $10,000 a light, what are we looking at? I mean,
That's why I said they didn't give me dollar amounts, I mean, they just gave me a total and then break it out by a pole, what the cost for a pole is or a light or anything like that, and I'm asking for more specifics when they give me this, they said this was preliminary, this is what they put together, but they didn't give me specific costs for each pole or light or anything like that, and I've asked for that information.
$770 and
I think a lot of that, I mean, you're gonna have engineering costs and stuff like that, you can do it, it's not this stuff, but, and you're looking at installation.
When do they anticipate having the final report to you, Mayor? You know,
They didn't give me a date for that, they just asked me to give preliminary feedback on this one, which the gentleman's actually on vacation, he forwarded to me from vacation, he got a little bit earlier today. But I had previously asked him for these numbers, break out the ball fields, and tell me what the cost of that individual is. And so he said they would give me that in the future, this is one they put together just to kind of give me something, and so I asked for that to be done in the future, so I'm gonna follow up and make sure that they understand. I would like for them to break that out. Now, if it is just one field that they want to do for the steel poles, well, that's gonna be drastically different than poles around all the lots and all the fields at 14 poles, steel poles at 70 feet, versus if it ends up being 4 or 5, that's gonna be a big cost difference.
$10,000 is $140,000, for those 14.
that's
Maybe
what
they're $25,000,
the Musco one that I read here 2 meetings ago, I believe, which came, let me give you exactly this came through Border States. John Edwards was the individuals that y'all met down here back in November, I believe, when we met them. That quote covered the 2 ball fields. Unfortunately, for some reason that day, they did not get the T-ball field over there covered. I don't know what that part was. That was $151,665.48. 151,665.48.
What's left on the T-ball field?
What's left? Is that what you're asking? What's there now?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking you.
They've got, I don't know, I haven't been over there for a while to look at the pole, to be honest with you. 2 poles out in the backfield, I think's all that's there. I don't think there's any behind the one place, there's 2 out in the outfield, that's it.
There's gotta be one behind my place that's bigger than me.
If we do something with it, there's not one now.
Yeah, because you can't see anything.
So you can say 100,000 for the main field, 50 for the other, and add another 50 for the second field, third field, you'd be at 200,000, not 900,000.
That's what appears.
I'm just saying.
That is,
Does not include basketball courts and all the other.
I believe I could go down there and look at it and say, I believe I could light it for 990.
I mean, are we wanting to do just the fields there, or do the whole park like he's talking about? I thought we were just talking about the little league field there, I mean, more or less the figure like he's talking about here.
Yeah, when the discussion was just for the ball field, we didn't have anything to do with it. Tennis court,
It
basketball
might not be
court.
bad to do it all, we've got the money to do it.
Well, all the other courts, tennis.
But not for a million
Not for a million.
I got too many talking about dark too.
All the other courts are still poles already, we just have to do the retro with the LED lights. Most of these LED lights, they don't care if you plug them into a 110 or 220 or 80, they just have circuits, they wire, pre-wire and run.
so you're saying that 900 and some change, the poles are not changing at those courts, they're already there?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Well, you were the ones that met with them.
Well, I know, but the white saying, we're gonna swap all the poles and stuff, cancel all that, but that's all steel poles already.
That's not what I was getting at. I'm saying the 900 and some change that you all met with Johnson Controls, is that including changing poles? Or is
I'm
that,
gonna read what it says right here.
so we don't know?
he
No,
doesn't.
I know what it says, I mean, right here on the page, it says tennis basketball courts, reuse existing 25-foot steel poles, replace fixtures with new LEDs, add 1 25-foot steel pole provided from county inventory, add 1 new concrete pole base for new pole, basketball pole number 3, underground power for new basketball pole number 3 to come from basketball pole number 2.
Okay.
I've already bought all the materials, we can do that ourselves.
And then it says, they call it the P-U field, but it's the T-ball field over there.
Those can be done.
Reuse existing 35-foot wood poles, replace fixtures with new LEDs, add 1 new 35-foot wood pole, the PU pole number 4, underground power for PU pole number 4 to come from PU pole number 3. Where you're really getting into replacement of poles and everything is replacing it around the ball fields themselves. And they've got the 70-foot steel poles. It says replace all poles with new 70-foot steel poles, which there, if you go through, there are 14 of those. Install new concrete pole bases, install fixtures and new LEDs. Field pole number 10 will remain and be dedicated for skate park use. 11 of the 14 pole locations are existing. 3 new pole locations to be added, poles 8, 9, and 14. Minimum pole power for poles 8, 9, and 14 to come from adjacent poles.
Can you email that to us? Even though it is a preliminary, we know it's not set in stone. Is that something that?
I will have to get their permission to do that.
I don't want it. Not for $900,000. So what, yes.
It also includes, they did a package, so it also includes lights here at the courthouse and mechanical here at the courthouse and windows and all that. So this was part of an entire look and them putting together an entire
So that's
package.
inclusive of the renovation here.
No, that's, the number, that 900 something thousand does not include the courthouse, does not include mechanical courthouse, it only is for the park.
Nice.
What you got in the park now is conduit, and wire running inside the pole. They start pouring in that pier and running, they'll have to rerun a lot of that electricity. It's not gonna be able to be used again.
So what's the will of the committee here on the sliding project here?
There's no way to pay $900,000.
I don't either on that.
Look, get back with
Or state.
these other ones and let them.
From what I've gathered here, it appears we need to get with Little League, try to get our president of Little League in here, or the Little League board in here to talk with us and have a discussion on what fields we're looking to get in what way. Is that what I understood that to be the case?
Yeah, because if you're gonna do it, let me see here, I actually went and looked up the Little League one thing while we're sitting here, and it's in their, I'm gonna call it preamble. It says the local district administrator must peer approve plans for any new lighting system as being adequate and within minimum standards for play. So any upgrades or additions of lighting equipment to existing systems after July 1st, 1992 must be done so that the systems will be in complete compliance with current standards. It also says in here that you're supposed to put together a plan. It says lighting, let's see here, copies of project plans must be submitted to the district administrator for prior approval that the plans are in installation comply with required standards. So yeah, you're gonna need that, whoever president of the Little League or somebody representative from the Little League to make sure that gets transmitted and you get the district administrator sign off if you're wanting to go with that minimum standard. And they said they wanted these steel poles because they wanted to have state tournaments. To me, I think that's a little bit beyond the minimum standard, but if it turns out to be one field versus all the fields, then that's gonna make a huge difference in the cost if you can replace, put 4 steel poles up versus 14 steel poles, that's gonna be a big difference, and that not just for this quote, but for any other quote. I will say, at this point, nothing's been submitted to you for approval, it's just preliminary feedback and all stuff, and we're still working to try to get quotes from other ones. But I would say, right now, getting good feedback from Little League about this plan, that seems to be your best route to go, because whatever comes up with, it's gonna have to be approved, if you're going the route Little League wants to.
Who is the president of the league this year?
I will have to ask that, but I was just fixing to text. Say it again? Ashley Evans.
Can you maybe get in touch with her?
I'm sure we can get in touch with somebody, John. I know John Cunningham's still on the board.
Actually, come to our next parks meeting we have, I don't, we haven't scheduled it yet.
So that, if we can do, if that's what we want to do, we get them in here and have a discussion. At least bring them up to date with what the ideas are, where we are, and then have a discussion here. I think that's what we've got to bring in.
Well, like I said, when I talked to them, they didn't make a difference about all, they just said, we want to replace with steel poles. Now, if they want to change and say, well, we want to do one field versus the other fields, that's, I have no problem with that, but just whatever it's gonna be, it's gonna have to be approved through Little League.
Anybody know who district manager is?
It's still the same guy.
Same guy, Portland, been there for 100 years.
It-
The,
You do that, Mr. Good.
I don't mind the bid. You give us a date and
Yeah, let's set a meeting day here before we go.
Yep.
We got any other discussion items you need to bring up here?
So you still haven't heard anything back on the local Parks and Recreation grant. We did hire a firm to come in and do a safety audit, and they were supposed to get back with me about scheduling time to come down here and do that. That was a requirement that TDEX put in place for this, since we don't have that information. So hopefully we'll be able to move forward with that, and that's something we can use in future grant applications, or whether it's for a state or if it's a private organization. So, but that was something they were very specific, they wanted us to do.
That's all I've got. Is any other business?
Oh.
Mr. Good?
I have had some kids approach me and ask about the skate park. And the question they've asked is when they look at other skate parks in other areas, I guess I've kind of hadn't paid attention myself that much, but they want to know if there's some way we could put some type of mural print, I guess I'm saying that wrong, some type of print that where that skate park is itself kind of in a painted area, I guess is what I'm saying, instead of just looking at fresh concrete is what they asked me about. So I said I'd bring it up in front of the committee, so that's what I'm gonna do. What I think the kids are saying is they'd like to have a fresher look, I guess is the word down there, just to, if they could go in and design some kind of paint scheme and have it, won't call it graffiti, but we might have called it graffiti in the past. Urban art, there's the word we would look for.
they're wanting to do it themselves, they want the county to hire somebody to come in.
They want to know what the options might be, I think is all they're asking.
Depends on what they want to put on.
I 100% with you, I just said I'd bring it in front of people.
You know how kids are now, they like to put anything.
100% with you. I don't think I would let the kids go and put graffiti art, that's not what I was asking. I was saying if they maybe design something, brought it in front of the committee, would that be something the committee would be interested in looking at? Kids ask about that look, I don't have a clue what the county wants to do that.
I'm willing to hear any proposal they have, if they want to put together a proposal or some kind of examples of what it is they're thinking of.
Perfect.
I mean, we want to make it as welcoming as we can for the people that are the users of the park. If this is something they're asking about, I'm willing to entertain whatever they look. I'd like to see what they're thinking of first, because I don't exactly.
You and I both.
I don't exactly know off the top of my head what it is they're looking at, so, but I'm willing to entertain any proposal they want to bring. They can bring it to me, I'll look at it and bring it to the committee or whatever, so.
I'll push you back to them. I was down there chatting with them the other day, a couple times. Just, you see where these kids are and what they're using and whatnot. They did ask that. They've asked a couple times about that, so. I thought
This is used a lot.
it is. There's a lot of kids that use it. My nieces and nephews go there.
They want to put it on the outside or put something on the inside where they skate.
I think it sounded holistically. Yeah, I think it sounded holistically on the concrete. That's what it sounded like to me.
I'm assuming it'd be like, if you're looking at the ramp, you got it looks kind of like a box around it, then you got the ramp, then probably on those flat surfaces around it, well, I'm assuming is what they're talking about.
But yeah, just a breakup, I think, is more what they were saying. Sounded like to me. We had a little discussion, but I said I'd bring it before the committee to see if they'd be interested. I'll bring that back to them and see if they'll bring some proposal.
I don't see anything wrong with it, when it's something decent.
I made that statement to them clearly that day. There's some talented individuals. I mean, I see a lot of kids that draw a lot and regular, and there are kids that regular that area, so they can probably put us together something pretty neat. Now, I think we need to go through it with a pretty fine-tooth comb to make sure there wasn't some hidden pieces. But just wanted to make sure we.
Nothing added to that.
Correct. I'll see if we can get something to it. They may not take the time to do the work to bring it in further, but I think the committee seems like they would be willing to look at it, so that's where I want to see. I have nothing else.
Anybody else?
I've been asked about the disc golf. Why couldn't the county go ahead and pay for it, have it installed, instead of waiting on them to raise the money? They said it's probably a year or maybe longer for them to raise the money. Why couldn't $8,000 go ahead, the county pay the $8,000 and have to put in?
Because that's the proposal they brought to you, and that's the proposal you accepted.
Yeah. Can it be changed?
It can be changed, but you're saying now they're no longer involved.
Well, they could still be involved, but the county would be footing the bill instead of them raising the money and doing it themselves.
So are we now going back on the agreement we made with them?
I'm just.
Or are you asking me to go back to them and say, are they willing to go for this other route? Which, I mean, I'm pretty sure they don't have any problem with us footing the bill.
I'm
The whole thing is, they brought it to us as a package, saying, we're gonna raise the money and do this.
My understanding when they first came in, if they had the money or had the lion's share of the money to do it and to get started on it.
Where did this year come into effect like that? Nobody said anything about a year. This guy was ready to go when he talked to us.
In the last meeting, he said it would probably take a year or longer to raise the money. To install it.
I didn't miss that.
By my minutes, it says depending on funding will determine how long it takes to build.
I was thinking somewhere in his field, he's pitched out there a year. But
I think he
I don't know, the way he sold it was he could start tomorrow, the way I got it, the way I understood it.
But he was gonna have to raise the money before he could start.
The way I got it was he could start tomorrow if we went with it.
Maybe he could start tomorrow raising the money by then. I don't know.
I'm just asking what I was asking. Put it forward to me. Sure. If it can be done, if it can't be done, that's just what I was asking.
They said they wanted to do it, we voted to let them do it. It wasn't our idea to have one, it was their idea to do it. I mean, I don't know why we want to rush it up all of a sudden and spend $8,000 when we're got somebody going to do it for free, even if it takes a little bit longer for them to do it. And I'm the one that's more in favor of it probably than anybody, or spoke more in favor of it than anybody. But
I'm sort of the same opinion.
I mean, we've got this set in motion, they're supposedly set to do it. If we see that they're not going to, or not going to be able to, then I can certainly see us jumping in and taking it over. But at this point, they may be through in 3 months, I don't know, we might want to contribute to the fundraiser to help it get done quicker. I can see that, more than just taking over the whole thing. But that's just my thinking,
I just brought forth what was asking me to do, and that's whatever can be done.
I know they finished the one in Springfield, I was told this weekend. I talked to one of the members that was helping them out this weekend working on it. Supposedly they finished up Springfield this weekend. Or they've been working on that for quite a while, so it took a little while, but I did talk to a member this weekend. Actually talked to him yesterday.
So like Mr. White said, maybe contribute to their fundraiser, that would help Steve, contribute something.
That's, I mean, I'll sort of, I guess.
Great point.
We kind of gave it to them, let's see what they do.
Let's see what they do.
If it doesn't materialize, then we can come back and
Few months, if we say they no action, then we might go know.
3 months from now, I asked them, where are you on this? And they said, we haven't raised any money, then, well, are you gonna be able to? They seem to think that's not gonna be a problem, or let us believe it was not gonna be a problem. Did they not? And that's my recollection, and I remember right.
You are.
I think just follow up with them, periodically, and see where we are.
Anything else we can brought up, any other business? Any public comments, Mr. Gregory?
I will say on the disc golf that I've had a lot of people talking about it and talking about they're glad that it's gonna happen, and, it's been nothing but favorable comments. More people than I would believe.
I'm just amazed at the people that's at the park, anytime you go down there. It's very easy place. And I'm just glad we are going to try to get the food up for this year, and I hope everybody goes smooth with it. Y'all think we need to have, when do y'all think we need to have another parks meeting? Since it moves open May 21st, we need to have one in June, make sure everything's.
Sounds like we gotta do something in June.
Yeah, I
Bring
thought
it
we were
really-
gonna talk about these little league fields.
Yeah, we need to talk, well, have somebody from Little League, so we need to have a meeting in June.
When you gonna set that date?
I'll give you a good date. We usually have our meetings on. Well, looks good for everyone.
Look at
June 10th, June 8th that week, or the third week.
we need,
Choosing out the
we
15th,
need
third
to
week.
let the pool run for maybe a month,
That's what I was thinking, I mean.
June,
let it run for a month and then see how it's going.
Thought we were gonna talk about the little league lights.
We are at the same time.
June the 15th, is, you know, if there's any more meetings that night? That far ahead, man.
On the schedule right now, there's no meeting scheduled on June 15th.
So let's go ahead and schedule a parks meeting for June 15th at 6 o'clock, better for everyone. June 15th at 6 o'clock, and Atlanta could get a hold of somebody like from Little League. Make sure they'll be at that meeting that night, we can discuss more about these lights.
Mr. Chairman, did you say 6 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay.
So you let Amy know when she's gonna get out.
I'm putting it in the calendar right now.
That's all I've got, is it, any more discussion or any more comments? Can I entertain a motion to adjourn? We got a motion, Mr. Taylor to adjourn, second to Johnson. All in favor, say aye. Thank y'all for coming.
Hey, you know, like,
That's what I was getting ready to. I don't know. Hey, did you think because we're going to be in tournament?
You need